I'm Jason.
I'm Stephen.
I'm Jase, and I'm Joe.
This is Tennessee Mountain Homestead channel, and today we're back out in the shop to work on Colt's 1983 John Deere 111. Recently, Mr. Colt here turned 7 years old on Halloween, and part of his birthday present is the long-awaited Peerless 820 6-speed going in this here 111. Along with that, he's going to get bigger wheels, tires, and a pulley swap. Let's get into it. The first thing we're gonna do is get this thing jacked up in the air so we can pull the old 801 out of it. Now, I know that we've never done any sort of detailed video or showcase this tractor in depth because I built this thing over 2 years ago for the kids. So, there's a lot of little things I did back then around the transmission area to stiffen it up that we'll go over once we get it up there. All right, we built ourselves a little bracket off the trailer hitch so that we can jack this thing up and then the transmission and tires will be free and clear. Go ahead and tighten that up, Crush. All right, get that one. It's been quite a while since we've jacked this thing up, and we've been looking underneath it, talking about it, taking measurements, and it seems it's not just gonna be a direct swap like it was in the Murray. If you guys seen that video with Jase's tractor, it's not gonna be the same thing. This has different mounting points. Where the Murray mounted out on the edge of the 820, there's 2 sets of holes. This one mounts on the inboard holes. The shift linkage is going to be an issue. Now, first and foremost, it's also very compact and tight under here. There's a lot going on, a lot of brackets, a lot of reinforcements, a lot of gussets, the gas tanks right here. And like I just said, the shift linkage is gonna be an issue because on the 820, the input where it actually turns inside and makes the shift forks move, that is over about 1.5 inches from where this one's at. So hopefully we can redo this lever. I don't know if the geometry is gonna be the same, but we're gonna try to reuse this. If not, we'll have to come up with something else. The brake is different, and something else we're gonna have to do is get this thing down. We gotta take it outside, and before we can start working on this thing anymore, we need to get all the mud out from underneath it because it's caked everywhere. It's just maybe it's dropping, it's getting in our eyes. So I think we're gonna go ahead and give it a healthy dose of Super Clean. I won this stuff on a raffle drawing at Good Evening Ranch at the Top Tractor Challenge, and we're gonna give it a shot. So we'll take this thing out by the pump house, stand it up with the tractor or something, or one of these hoists, and we'll just soak it down with Super Clean. We'll pressure wash it, and we'll get it back in here, take it apart. Now also, another thing is the transmission that we have over there, that 820, is a 6-speed. anyways, like I was saying, this here is a 6-speed. The transmission in the tractor currently is a 5-speed. There's only provisions for 5 gears on the plastic shift gate on the side of the fender. So, we've got a problem. What we can do is we just put the 5-speed 820 in Jase's Murray tractor a few weeks back. We can take that 5-speed out. Hopefully they're the same dimensions and the controls are all in the same spot. And we can swap this one into his, since on his shift selector, he's got a lot more space to go. When his is in 5th, it can even go another slot and go 6th. No problem. And there's no numbers, it doesn't have to line up with anything. That tractor looks stock and we want to keep it that way. I don't want to take that shifter gate off of there, the plastic, and just get rid of it and then have a hole in the fender. I really want to make it look nice, or keep it looking nice. So I think we're going to have to swap the transmissions. And then Jase will have the 6-speed, we'll put the 5-speed from the Murray in this, and hopefully get the shifter working correctly. Alright guys, real quick, I thought this would kind of be a treat for some of you. A little backstory about this 820 transmission is one night, at least 2.5 years ago, if not longer, I was perusing eBay for stuff like this when I was starting to get into the mud mower thing, looking at transmissions and whatnot. And I found this 820 and it was listed for $149. And I was like, no way. So I looked into it, read the description. The gentleman that was selling this on his eBay account had nothing else even remotely like this. He sold like trading cards and you name it, whatever else, like normal stuff. He didn't sell mechanical parts like this. This was like the anomaly. Well, he said that he got it from an estate sale, and that he said that he couldn't turn the axles. It seemed like it was frozen up, and it said parts only. Said it was no good. I was like, no way. And there was, like, in the pictures he had of it, there were several pictures. There was styrofoam balls all over this thing. And I was like, what is that? You know, and I'm like thinking maybe it came out of a box. I don't know, but I took the chance and I bought it, obviously. So anyways, I've had this thing sitting around the shop now for well over 2 years. We've used it in some of the other videos as a lathe where we put the 1-inch hubs on the axle, and then Stefan will turn that axle so this one turns and I can sit there with a grinder, you know. But that's the only time, as far as I can tell, it's ever been turned. Now, when we got this thing from eBay a couple years back, it came in the original box that it must have shipped in from the factory, from Peerless. It was in the box, it was in styrofoam, and the styrofoam was like molded, I forget, or whatever, around this thing so that it was in the shape of it, you know what I mean? And that's where all those little styrofoam balls were. He also said that there was screwdriver marks on the back from someone trying to pry the case apart, which, as a lot of you guys are aware, it's not screwdriver pry marks, it's just a casting where it didn't fill in the mold perfectly with the cast aluminum. So this thing is essentially brand new. We've already taken the brakes off of it, and the brake pads are completely untouched. No marks, no wear. The disc, the only rub marks it has from the pads is probably from where we spun it, but everything on this transmission checks out to be brand new. So if you want, we just took all the bolts out of it, took the brake off. We're gonna pop the case off. And this is what a brand new 820 should look like inside. And you can see where the grease has never touched the case. And the only reason I suspect, like I keep saying, the only reason I suspect any of it is smeared around in here is because when we turned it, we probably turned it a couple hundred times, bare minimum, spinning it by hand to make a lathe out of it. I don't know what year this was produced, but I think a lot of this grease, I think the transmission was sitting not level, and a lot of it just kind of flowed over into the corner. You can see on this corner where it just collected. So yeah, this is a brand new 820. The bearings are literally perfect. The seals, everything about this transmission is brand spanking new. I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know how many of them are brand new, and I don't know what they cost brand new. I think they're over $1,000. But I thought that would be a treat for you guys. See you in a minute. What's going on, everybody? It's the next day, and I've had all night to think this over, and we're definitely going to take or swap the transmissions. We put the 820 in this, and for some reason, I decided to put the 6-speed in the John Deere 111. I don't know why, but you know, lack of planning is a common thing around here. So we're just taking y'all along the ride. That's just the way it goes. So check this out, come over here. So this is the Murray's transmission. This is the gear selector. Now, all the way over, that's 5th gear. There's still space in here, more travel, it would go into 6th. Now come over here. This is the John Deere's gear selector, and that's 5th gear. It doesn't have a space for 6th, like I was saying before, and in order to make it go that much further, this would have to go away, and it would probably just look horrible. So that's why we're gonna do the swap. We're gonna get the Murray up on the jack stands, pull that trans, and we're gonna put that transmission next to the 6-speed and see if they're physically identical, which they probably are, and then we're gonna go ahead and go from there. I got the 820 out of the Murray. This is the 5-speed, this is the 6-speed, and I've already been looking at them. They're pretty much identical in dimension, the case, everything's the same. The main difference that I found was these axles stick out of the case about 3 3/4, where these you're looking at 4 5/8. That's the only difference between these two, and that this one here is a 6-speed. So we're gonna go ahead. I gotta open this one up to 6-speed, the brand new transmission. I need to clean all the grease out of it. We need to weld the differential, make it locked up like this one. That's gonna take, you know, some time to do, and we've already made videos about how to do that and how we go about doing that. I'm gonna do the same thing, so if you want to see how we lock it up, go check out those other videos. I'll put links in the description. But for now, we're gonna get these two ready to go in their respective tractors, and we'll see you in a minute. All right, guys, we gotta clean the transmission like I just said, and that's probably not gonna happen until next weekend. So we've got a long time between now and then to think about what we're gonna do. We gotta prep the 111 out, and I'm gonna call today and yesterday what we did so far a video. I know it was kind of random, kind of haphazard. That's just the way it goes around here sometimes. We're taking you along for the ride. I hope you enjoy the content. If you're new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you're an existing viewer, please comment. I love to get comments. I try to answer every one of them. So with that, my name is Jason.
I'm Stefan.
And I'm Joe.
This is Tennessee Mountain Homestead Channel, and we'll see you on the next one.